Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the July 24th meeting of the Canyon City Historic Preservation Commission. We will take roll.
Lauren Flick.
Here.
Chris Jenkins.
Here.
Lester Lamone.
Here.
Mike Badone.
Here.
Rich Ballard.
Here.
Jim Nelson here. Billy Wentz.
Here.
Everyone is here today. We'll move into the first item, and that is to entertain a motion to approve the agenda from the June 26th meeting and the minutes from the June 26th meeting and today's agenda. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 26th meeting along with our agenda for today. Second.
Jim?
Lauren.
Approve.
Chris.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Jim. I'll abstain since I wasn't at the meeting. Billy.
Yes.
Item number 4 on today's agenda, we had a meeting prior to this to discuss the development of the guidelines for the historic downtown. Lisa, do you have a summation of what we discussed?
So we met just prior to this meeting to discuss some of the questions that were brought up by other department heads and other members of the commission. I think we've reviewed some of the concerns and I think was decided among the committee members to formulate a letter to go out to other city departments to determine their concerns, pro and cons for the historic downtown preservation guidelines, and to set a date for getting feedback for that. And then we've also discussed looking at the range or the scope of the area that we'd be determining these guidelines would be appropriate for.
So, yes, Mr. Chairman, just to elaborate a little bit more on that, it was me that looked at the response that we got from at least one department in the city, and I asked myself, and then I asked this commission too, whether or not it was appropriate to send out a letter to all the departments asking for a one-page of concerns or opinions concerning the development of our design guidelines so that we can add that to the context of our discussions. Our intent would be to acknowledge everyone's positions, acknowledge everyone's concerns, and coordinate some of those concerns into the development of our own guidelines. So I was asked to pen the letter. It'll go to the chair for approval prior to sending, but what we're looking for is some feedback so that we can start with some context. We understand what people are concerned about. That way this can be a smooth process for us. So.
Thank you, Lester. Any other input? Rick, and I do appreciate your response, certainly pointing out what your concerns are in economic development. I think we share a lot of the same goals, and our motivation is not to become another layer of bureaucracy, but something to help facilitate and assist is the word we were using. What
Support.
Support, that's the word. Support.
Yeah.
Our ultimate goals in that arena. I think we all have a passion for the history of Canyon City, and preserving that and facilitating others in their ability to help us do our job is one of our main goals. So,
and the character of downtown is really what investors that I talk to when they come downtown. I was just with some last weekend. The character downtown is what completely takes them by surprise. So it's definitely an asset that we need to take care of, or to make sure that we maintain. the thing that struck me the most when I went through the samples is that one of those samples in particular was talking about the planning department doing inspections, and then like red flag went up automatically, because like, how is this gonna fit into who's doing what now in the city? And then, of course, beautiful downtown, beautiful historic downtown, it's just a challenge for us to get those buildings turned into something, something else. So I appreciate the ability to look further into it, but I think the biggest thing is making it fit into the systems here, especially considering the changes that we're going through, have been going through with systems, and some of the customizations that had to happen in the systems. Don't want to throw more on top of people, and so.
We had that,
But-
we had that discussion as well, and this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all type of proposal. There are similar communities far in advance of where we are at our downtown redevelopment. And when you reach those more advanced stages, you might be able to afford to dig in a little deeper.
Grow
because
into it.
Because it may be appropriate. At this stage, we're definitely not there yet, so we don't want to be seen as an impediment to those opportunities to get us to that point.
I think ultimately you won't be.
No.
It's just, it just when, in this affects, this happens in other committees too. They have a mission, they have their objective, but how do they fit in? And I think that ultimately this one, ultimately it will. And there's already been some work, and we had to do this for the Urban Renewal Authority too, with fitting into the systems. There just needs to be a process to go through to do that. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that. And I won't be sending any other comments than what I already have. So you've got my letter.
Actually, you will, but.
Will I?
Yes.
You can copy paste, but
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You can
will.
copy and paste.
Yeah.
All right.
Any additional feedback or input? Okay, thank you.
But our
Thank you, Rick.
downtown is, I mean, people are blown away when they come downtown.
I agree.
They
And
have
I-
no idea it's there, and they show up, and it's like, why is this place not blowing up, kind of thing,
Yes,
you know?
I agree.
Always.
Any other comments on this topic? Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. We had a special meeting 3 weeks ago now, to set or to discuss our budget requests. Lisa, would you?
I hope everybody received a copy of the proposed budget for this commission. I sort of outlined the different things that were talked about at that meeting involving training, travel opportunities, equipment, the interpreter panels idea, and various different supplies that we would need for outreach, and the programming, getting more people to come down to do workshops. So I've outlined it, especially for this next year in terms of training and travel. The next CLG conference will be in Colorado Springs, so there's an opportunity for all of us to probably attend that in person. So I budgeted for the majority of the commission to attend the 3-day conference. And that could be offset a little bit with the CLG scholarship that's made available and that we've been applying to for the last couple of years. The equipment, somebody on the committee had suggested we get a pop-up tent to do outreach at various different events. And then, of course, the programming to getting an individual to come down or to Canyon City to do a special workshop on, say, window repair like we did this last May. The interpretive panels would be in line with the panels that have been done at the city, downtown. And taking that on as a project for this next year, various different sites and locations. You suggested 2 for this next year possibly, and the cost. And then the miscellaneous supplies, anything from printed materials, banners, and vests. If we do decide to go out and have volunteers or commission members do surveying, that they're clearly identified. And so this is what I proposed as roughly $7,000. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? I have not submitted this quite yet, so there is some opportunity still to add or any other items that you can think of. I have until next week.
So if you have any input, you need to do it now,
This is no guarantee that we'll get this, but this is a request
okay?
that we would be submitting.
Any additional input or comments? Do we have a motion to approve the proposed budget request?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget request as presented.
Second.
Jim?
Laura,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Lester,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Jim, yes. Millie?
Yes.
Passes unanimously. And now we will move on to agenda item number 8. Do we have any general announcements? Oh, did we miss something?
6.
No, agenda item 6.
Item number 6. I need my glasses, but what am I looking at, last month's? No?
That starts the
could be.
finger on your neck.
That could
Let me
be.
borrow somebody's glasses here. Okay, so number 6, but it does say number 8 on mine. What are
Oops.
we on? General announcements?
Yes, general announcements.
Okay.
So upcoming opportunities for training or discussions, the CLG, through the CLG portal, there will be discussion next month, August 21st, Wednesday at noon. The topic will be Latino, Hispanic, and Chicano history of Colorado. And the Saving Places on the Road event will be taking place in Steamboat Springs, September 7th through the 8th. And you can, if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to the Colorado Preservation Inc. website if you're interested. And the museum is going to be working on a historic walking tour, likely August 22nd. We'll be posting more information regarding that in the weeks ahead.
What's the date of the conference in the Springs?
Oh, the CLG conference, that's our annual conference. That
Right.
will be probably end of February.
Oh,
Oh,
so
is it? No,
Usually early February.
yeah, end of January, 1st of February.
have not set the formal date, have they?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Anything else under general announcements? And next item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have anyone in the audience? Nothing for us today, Aaron? Nothing today. Okay. And with that, I believe we've touched on all of the items. Anything else anybody would like to add to today's meeting prior to adjournment? With that, I move to adjourn, and our next meeting will be on August
It'll be Wednesday, August 28th at 4 PM.
28th?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, I adjourn.